Okay, Bismillah. So I'm going to play part of a video, about 20 seconds worth, and this is not me criticising the brother that's talking. It's actually in the video, further on, he goes on to make some very valid points, some very true points, and he structures his sentences and his dawah very well and very clearly. It's just really about a couple of sentences or a couple of phrases that he uses that get used quite a lot in the Muslim community, and I've noticed it and I've mentioned it to people when I'm talking to them. And now I've got a video, I can sort of highlight it now, okay? So I'm going to play the video and then come back in and then we'll go.
Some people, some Muslims, they are coconuts, with all due respect, right? They are someone who's dark skin from outside who wants to be white, right?
They'll make blanket statements.
Yeah, I know. So what they do is that they want to please the Western master. So that's why I'm calling it a colonized mentality. That's why they want to say these things so that they feel like these people are okay with us. Allah says in the Quran, and this closed the deal, right? Allah says in the Quran, وَلَن تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَا النَّصَارَى. The Jews and the Christians will never be pleased with you until you follow the religion.
Okay, so in that video, he said coconut. He used the phrase or the terminology, there are unfortunately a lot of coconuts, saying that they are dark on the outside and white on the inside, okay? Now, he's making a distinction between dark people or people of color being Muslim and coconuts, white people, okay, being non-Muslims. Okay. Now, firstly, this Islamically isn't correct anyway, because Islam is for the whole world, regardless of color. Okay. And secondly, it causes a divide between white people and Islam. Now, I work every day with builders, construction workers that have an actual belief, a misunderstanding that Islam isn't for white people. It's just not for white people, okay? Now, rhetoric like that, calling people coconuts and using that, just reinforces that misunderstanding. I'm not saying that particular brother meant that when he said it, but what he meant isn't important as much as how it's understood by the people that are listening. That's more important, okay? So I just think it's mindful that we don't use those terminologies. I'm not a snowflake. I'm not overly sensitive. Anyone that knows me knows I don't really care about myself in that sense. I've been called an awful lot of things worse than a coconut. But I'm just saying how it lands for other people, because giving dawah is very important. Giving dawah is work of prophets. So none of us, including me, do it very well. But when we are giving dawah, we should be mindful of the words that we're using and how it's going to be understood by others. Another one that he used was the Western masters or something. The West is used all the time, or the West, the West, the West. But what white people understand when you say that is you mean white countries. Because I say to people, well, is Australia in the West? Well, no, it's not, but it's still a Western country. Because it's a white country. Okay. Now, again, I'm not saying that America and Britain and France are necessarily Islamically friendly, but that's a government thing. I mean, I'm talking about individually. Okay. So using terminologies like that doesn't help the dawah. It doesn't help white people, generally speaking, understand that this religion is inclusive to everybody in the world. Okay. And we all know that anyway. So that's just me putting in my little bit. Again, you can disagree or agree. It's just my opinion, being white and understanding how white people will look at it and how they'll understand it and how it will make a gap between them and the deen, which is what, we're not looking to do. I'm just putting it out. Peace.